Shalom. I would like to start off by giving all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Kakadash. I'd like to give a double honor to the elders and to the apostles of GMS Great Millstone who do rule well. And the salutation to the whole for elect. It's the brother Damawa from the GMS Cleveland branch coming back with another quick video. And this word has, and when I say this word, I mean this kingdom of the gospel, right? Matter of fact, let's start off with that real quick. This kingdom of the gospel, meaning that who we are, you so-called Negroes, Latino, Native Americans, all right, what's coming to us, all right, the promise that the Lord made to Abraham, all right, that version of the kingdom. Hold on, let me get it real quick. Matthew 24:14, it says, and this gospel of the kingdom should be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then should the end come. All right, so that's a small glimpse to let you know that these people that heard, all right, of you so-called Negroes, Latino, Native Americans, and us being the Israelites, all right, the true Israelites, okay, about the slave trade and everything else. That's why they and when I say they, I mean these damn Edomites, the so-called white men. That's why they get so defensive. Okay, and this is what this video is about to be about. So let's read it again. Matthew 24:14. And this gospel of the kingdom should be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then should the end come. Okay, so it didn't just say just to the Israelites only. It said to all nations. Okay, and since we're telling the truth on what the main nation have done to us, all right, in this time, all right, which is the so-called white man, they get the most offended, all right, and when and through their history, proving and showing that they hate us bringing it back or reminding them of these things, all right, it does something to them, all right, spiritually, okay, and that's why they do not want to accept, all right, that the Lord is black or look like a Negro, right? They don't want to accept these things, because if they accept that, well, then they got to accept that what they did to us has to be done to them. There's no way that if we really have a God and he's the God above all and he looked like us and he's for us, and they know what their history tells them and the hatred that they display every day in dealing with you so-called Negroes, Latino, Native Americans, well, guess what? They know in the back of their mind that they will have to pay for that. So that's a nightmare to them, okay? And we come into the times now to where they don't want to be reminded, right, of the tragedy and of the straight up hatred that they have for us and showed us, right, from their forefathers until this day, all right? They want you so-called Negroes, Latino, Native Americans, all right, the so-called white man likes to be looked at as God, and he wants you to worship him, all right? So bringing out the obvious racism and the obvious shortcomings, right, of the way that they have treated us throughout the past, they don't like to be reminded of these things, okay? So we're going to show you how. For one, I was going to involve the Jaylen Brown situation into this as well. All right, but there's no need. Okay, we're just going to keep it simple. All right, and we're going to keep it that if you don't know, all right, so LeBron is leaving the Lakers. All right, and this is the thing about the truth. The truth and the Lord, right, is in everything. Okay, there's nothing that is an aspect of life that the Lord has not ordained, predained, and thought all the way through, whether it's good or bad, and or whether a person choose the positive or the negative route of one such thing. Okay, and basketball is another one of those things. Okay, and so we have to understand that these people always have showed a hatred. All right, but as we just read here in Matthew 24 and 14, and this gospel of the kingdom should be preached, right, in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then should the end come. So now we are at the end, all right, and our people have heard this truth, right, in the NBA, in the soccer, in football, right, everybody. There's no excuse. Even the so-called presidents and governors, all these people with these prestige jobs, all right. But these people don't have the understanding of what's really going on. Matter of fact, let's get there real quick. All right. Because if a person would look at a so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, and they're living this multi-million-dollar life, right, on top of the world, being the number one athlete, or just being a part of the NBA or the NFL by itself, they think that those are the nobles, right? They think that those are the best or the cream of the crop, all right, when it's coming to you so-called Negroes, Latino, Native Americans, all right. But that's not how the Lord deal, all right. Actually, you dealing with these basketball and all these actors and all that of so-called Negroes, Latino, Native Americans. You actually dealing with the lowest of our people, all right, because the highest of our people, the wisest of our people, all right, the Lord have them doing his task. Okay, so even if you think that a so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans is at his best because of the job or the status that he hold in this world, you have to understand that that person is trying to hold on to that status of this world, all right, and that's the far that it's go. Okay, but let's get this real quick to try to help explain what I'm trying to bring across. Bring across. Salakia, hold on. 1 Corinthians 1 and 27, it says, but God hath chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. All right, and when you go into that, what that links up with is what? That through the foolishness of preaching, all right, and so the Lord, all right, have chosen his man, all right, to confound all the wise, and that's even including the wise of our people. All right, because they the ones that live prestigious in this world is the ones that are teamed up with the world. All right, because they the ones that benefit the most from our nation. All right, being okay with going along, right, getting along or go along to get along. Okay, because they the ones that get the bigger piece of the pie from the rest of you so-called Negroes, Latino, Native Americans. All right, but it says, but God have chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, and God have chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things that are mighty. All right, because in this type of process, the Lord show his strength. All right, so the Lord ain't dealing with you so-called wise ass people who get paid, all right, for your opinion, right? He ain't choose basketball players and football players or nobody of that type of stature, right? To bring in, all right, the change that is needed. Okay, so the point of this video is going to show you, all right, that even before our people start standing up, so-called white men, they don't even want to be reminded about it. All right, because now we're coming to a time to where they're trying to hide from their history. Okay, but check this out. We're going to start with this little clip. All right, because as you can see, it says every NBA coach next season pregame speech before they play the Lakers. All right, so going back to the main story, all right, so the Lakers is getting rid of LeBron, and they basically got rid of all the black players on their team, all right, and they hiring all white boys. And so it's a thing in the NBA going around right now. Stephen A. Smith said it for what it is. He basically came online and said, who the hell do the Lakers think, or like where the hell do the Lakers think that they're about to go with a team for the white boys ain't about to take them to the promised land? Okay, and they started a whole bunch of things, but that's the truth. All right, these damn Edomites are not about to take you to the promised land. All right, Trump is not about to make America great again. All that shit is over with. Okay, but more importantly, they don't want you niggas to feel like that. That's the sad part about it, because the only ones that help this system continue is the ones that believe in it. All right, and our people have a bad habit in believing the so-called white man, right, even over the Heavenly Father. But check out this little clip though.
How many fucking times do I have to tell you? You're black, they're white. This ain't hockey.
Guys, I think what Coach is trying to say is that
the key word is teamwork. No, the key word is you're black, they're white.
So, Coach, what you're saying is if we just walk with the Lord.
The Lord, nigga, the Lord done did his part already. He made you black. He made them white. He gave you a foot
And that's so much of the truth that the people really don't even understand. They'll look at the clip and say, this nigga just talking shit. No, that is so much the truth, right? Because even 2/3 of our people that's going to be destroyed for not believing this, they don't understand that the Lord has already, he had already planned out your life, even in the kingdom to come. All right, that's why he made you dumb as an Israelite. All right, 'cause a lot of our people are wicked and they just as careless as Esau Edom, the so-called white man, right? But yet and still, he made some Esau and he made some Jacob. Okay, and at the end of the day, Jacob is the one that's going to have the forever blessing. All right, and he was telling the truth. He said the Lord already chose. All right, so so when people are born, they don't understand that you just continuing on the decision that was already made over your life thousands of years ago. All right, because no Edomite that's here, no white man cannot not be no white man. All right, as the scripture says, can a leper change his spots, or Salakia, roughly paraphrasing, or damn, what you call them people over there in Africa? I forgot, Salakia. All right, but people can't change their colors. All right, or none of that. All right, whatever you was born with, that's what you have to rock with. All right, and so whatever your heritage is, that's what you have to rock with. All right, but
dribble with that motherfucker.
Hold on.
So I have to tell you, fucking times do I have to tell you, you're black, they're white. This ain't hockey.
Guys, I think what Coach is trying to say is that
the key word is teamwork. No, the key word is you're black, they're white.
So, Coach, what you're saying is if we just walk with the Lord.
The Lord, nigga, the Lord done did his part already. He made you black. He made them white. He gave you a foot and a half dick. Dribble with that motherfucker.
People didn't know, he showed it this past season.
Hey, and that's the truth. All right, and this is the thing with the so-called white man. They're scared. All right, they're scared because, again, the reason why the American debt system has been working because the people believed in it. All right, and so the same thing with the so-called white man. All right, he gets that respect from us because our people believe in it. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, here we go. So basically, Stephen A. Smith came out and said, man, where the hell the Lakers think they about to go with a bunch of white dudes? You're not about to get to the promised land. And so it's a whole bunch of black clash, right? And a whole lot of people coming out talking about, well, what if they said this about black people? Nigga, you can't say this. See, and that's what I hate about this society now, because they really do think, the so-called white man really think that he's not going to have to answer for what he have done. Not knowing that you can't even take it further than what you done done. You done put your hands on the Lord's people. All right, so you about to pay for that, but they don't want to be reminded. They don't want anything of backlash of how they got this place or the truth of the matter, meaning that they're not the salt of the earth. We are. We're better than them in every way. As the scripture says, one nation should be taller than the other. Okay? And so these people hate to be reminded of that. All right? And they will pay certain predominant people of our nation, right, to try to keep that facade going. Okay? To keep our people with being okay. All right? We're taking second place, but we really deserve first. Okay, so let's get this real quick. This ain't nothing new. Our people some of our people, all right, always did this. Okay, they always made deals with the heathen, or they didn't mind letting the heathen rule over them. Okay, they actually thought it was better for that, and that's the same thing, the same mindset a nigga like Anton Daniels got. All right, because he just be ready to talk shit about you so-called Negroes, Latino, Native Americans, because it make him look some type of way in front of the white man. All right, but right when you bring up what these men, what these people have done to help put our people in the position that you see us in today, right? He don't want to have ain't no excuse, okay? But this is First Maccabees 1:11. But best believe, though, the point of it is for him to always have that approach and not want the people who did this to us, all right, to pay. Tells you everything that you need to know, because he's already getting his payment by the rest of his people not understanding. All right, so he's able to benefit by rubbing shoulders with Trump, or rubbing shoulders at these different campaigns, buying these different campaigns, trying to get on the white man good side, while all around he's thinking that he's gaining favor, all right, by talking shit about his own people. All right, and so this First Maccabees 1:11, it says, in those days when went there out of Israel wicked men, all right, so these are Israelites who persuaded many, all right, so they was telling their own people, or talking their own people into this, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. Okay, and our people today still make these covenants through what? Through employment, right? Through these podcast shows, and that's why it's easy to recognize them, because they're not going to speak on certain topics, right? They're not going to tell you the truth about everything, all right? Because you won't know why, because it offends the ones that they get their money from, all right? But it says, go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us, for since we departed from them, we have made much sorrow. All right, and they said it again. All right, when the Lord had took us out of Egypt, all right, they was complaining and murmuring and saying, "Did the Lord take us out of Egypt so we can, so He could bring us out here so we can starve?" All right, and then they got to talking about all the fruit and shit that they missed being in Egypt. All right, and so that's our people, okay, because our people swear up and down that they want freedom. All right. But the main people who've been holding us back from freedom, when they come up, when it comes time to tell the truth about them, that's when they get amnesia, right? That's when, oh man, y'all taking it too far, man. Let that go, man. That happened years ago. And these are our people, bro. All right? And that's why the Lord is about to destroy their ass, man, because they super fake.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
But
really good.
He still had a point.
Salaki, I went too far.
Vice President,
This
you
is
made
cool,
it happen.
Nigga right here say, man.
Until you
This nigga
doesn't mean we.
And listen, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't throwing shots at Benji, all right? But this nigga is one of y'all, Nigerian, bro. This nigga right here. Well, I think he from Nigeria, Salaki. So he may not just be Benji, Benji. All right, but this nigga right here is a coon. It's them niggas that come from Africa, man. Jakes that come from Africa, bro. They be so ready to just assume the position when it comes to pleasing the white man, bro, and like trying to make a better life for themselves. That's their excuse. That's our people's excuse. I'm trying to make a better life for ourselves, nigga. This is not your rest. America ain't the place for you to build a better life for yourself, nigga. right? And then that's the part that they don't want to listen in, all right? And that's why the Lord allow people to get caught up in these different little skirmishes, right? I'm saying it wrong, Salaki. Skirmishes, right? And then they end up dying, all right, because they'll do anything for the bread. They'll do anything for the money. They'll do anything for the bag, right? And then they fuck around and lose their life. But check this dude out.
Something happened does not necessarily mean that it cannot happen. Furthermore, just because we haven't seen something happen doesn't mean we should diminish the...
He talking about an all-white team winning the NBA Finals. What I don't like is how come it's always somebody of our nation speaking up for these people? Because you want to know why? These are those taskmasters to make sure that no revolution never really comes. If a nigga make too much sense, or if a comment or if a post go viral for making too much sense about the white man, they gonna have one of their coons that they have on the payroll of our people to come out and say that we're doing too much, how we like it, and all these other things, when that's just a conversation, right? They haven't said anything about us going over there to Germany and taking a country, right? Wiping out a whole group of their people, right? In the hunt for gold, okay? And so these people get aggravated with us for reminding them who they are, not even what they did. But they got niggas in place like this nigga right here to make sure that even when we start looking like Jake want to stand up, you got niggas like this is always trying to cool you down, always trying to bring you back down, right? Crabs in the bucket, all right? But that's why the Lord said, who's gonna rouse them up? All right, Judah is a lion's whelp, all right? Because as soon as the Negroes start going hard out here, all right, that's when all the rest of the Israelites are gonna fall in place. All right, but check this.
Possibility of it happening. Stephen A., you're black. How many things in your life have we not seen happen until you made them happen? Highest paid person at ESPN. A black man? We ain't see that happen.
You see? And so now he should be thankful for what this man to work. Man, what the fuck is you talking about, nigga? Why is you speaking up for them anyway? You see? Because these athletes be thinking that in this time only is the only time we didn't have athletes. Man, shut the fuck up. Our people have done way greater things than dribbling a motherfucking basketball. Nigga, we done created the stop lines, AC. Man, hey, choose your list, nigga. But tell me one thing. How come we invented so much, but none of those families of the inventions of those slaves at the time, none of them benefit today? But you can pull up a fucking so-called white man family, right? Like Chase Bank or Bank of America or Wells Fargo, right? And that's just on the banking end, right? But a lot of these 500 Fortune companies that's been around longer than America, how you think they got that money, right? He ain't never got nothing to say about them, okay? He don't never have nothing to say about them. But guess what? You niggas should be happy. You niggas should be okay. Shut the fuck up. Don't you say anything about what the white man can't do. What if he said that with you? Well, guess what, nigga? He did that to us. Fuck saying it. The nigga made a whole generation of us illiterate, okay? We weren't allowed to read. Man, shut up, man.
Until you made it happen. President of the United States. A black man?
We should be happy that we president. You see, and this is what the coon job, nigga job is to do. Matter of fact, let me put this clear. We ain't even gotta play the rest of this shit. You would be appalled. Go look it up, right? It's right here. It show you the date. Shit, 6 days ago, right? We ain't about to listen to that coon ass shit right there. What this nigga, he about to try to feed you a reason of why you shouldn't say what everybody else is thinking. Nigga, what are you about to win with the team for the white dude? That's all Stephen A. Smith said, and that's the truth. Everybody said that. It hasn't happened. This nigga go all the way back to when only white people was playing for him to try to prove the point. Go show you that these niggas are sent, man. That nigga Ocho right here is friends with Oprah, so you already know what time he on. They the boule. They are just the white people. They're the ones that the so-called white man has allowed to be at the top because he can trust them in one way or another to make sure to hold his people in line. Taskmasters, right? But check this out, because this is what this nigga do, and Damian Wayans right here is about to explain how they do it.
I'm not even gonna talk. I'm just gonna show y'all this video. Hold on.
Cool.
White people want to smooth some shit over, they go get that rich nigga and put you on TV to represent the people, you know? You have you asking you questions like, Damon, now that you made this $13 million, and we're not counting.
You see, but it's always a Jake that has a high status in this world. It's never your average Jake. It's never your average Jake. And this is why they put a microphone in those Jake's face. Because the same reason why the Lord said that you can't serve him and mammon. Because if a nigga getting money, he ain't gonna have nothing bad to say. Right? He ain't gonna have nothing bad to say. Okay? But these are our enemies. Look, check this out real quick. I asked AI, see, and